country's burning. Racism, confusion. This is truly end times. But while we're still here on this planet, we're going to try to make things a little better for everybody. And we're going to talk about some very hurtful things today. We're going to talk about cancer. We're going to talk to Leo Bridgewater, who served our country. We're going to talk to Bishop Jethro James. And we're going to talk about all the stuff that's going on right now in our country. And I'm probably going to screw up today because I'm not thinking right. My brain is not right. I cannot think of words anymore. This past month for me has been a nightmare. For my family has been a nightmare. We're all hurting. We just buried our sister yesterday, and she was fine a month ago. So we're going to talk about that. And I have to add my sister to the list today. I don't want to start the show off sad, but man, hurtful. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to have a really good show. Leo's going to be on in a few minutes. We're going to call Leo first. Leo's a very, very intelligent voice of reason, and I want to hear his take on all this that's going on in our country. As a war vet and a cannabis consumer, he's also in the cannabis industry. A lot of people say people of color are going to be locked out of the cannabis industry. Well, Leo hasn't been locked out. So I want to know how he got in and how to get other people in.
Bring in the boss one, I'm gonna get mine. Go do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't tell me how you're off and down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown and you fool bitch. So just step back, or I'm mad dad when I come down straight. I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
Good morning.
I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean.
I'm a lean, mean revolution machine.
For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly dis, let's resist.
Raise your fist and pump like this.
Promises, promises all the time. Don't cross the line, and you know it's mine. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
Fuck cancer.
Who you wanna roll with?
Thank you. Hashtag fuck cancer.
Roll with?
It's a horrible thing to say. That word.
Let's roll.
I hate that word. I have a list here of about 30 or 40 black people that were killed that I'm going to read later. I'm sure you've seen it on my timeline or on my Instagram. It needs to be shared.
Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
Good morning, Lefty.
Good morning, William.
Well,
Hello?
I'm trying to talk to you, and
Well, you're calling during the beginning of the show when I play the music, so you really should listen to the show when you call. This way you're not interrupting the theme song. This is the theme song.
Okay.
You want to sing along, sing along. Who you want to roll with, huh? Huh, William, huh? Okay, William, what you got for me, buddy?
Okay. Well, here's what's going on. We're talking 11, 11, 11. Today. 11 years ago today, the State House, they were voting on whether or not to move forward with Senate Bill 119.
Wow, you got your numbers on. Good job.
And then on this coming Sunday, will be 11 years
Whoa.
since the candlelight vigil for Cheryl Miller.
11 years.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And I'm thinking that maybe you would like to do a National Candlelight Vigil from the podcast
Sure.
for Sunday.
Why not?
11, 11, 11.
Sounds good to me, buddy.
What do you think?
Well, I'm not thinking very well, but you can think for me. But
I'm sorry?
I'm down. I'm down for whatever you want, William. I'm down.
Okay, well, I mean, that's what I would like to run it by you to get your support and feedback.
No, I'm down. Dude, Cheryl Miller is my hero. She's the reason I started my cannabis activism. I love Cheryl Miller, and I love Jim Miller, and I love their activism,
Yeah.
and I just,
You and I both.
I'm all in, bro. You know I'm all in on that.
So in any event, we could make it an event and run it around Facebook.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. I try to think, but
Okay.
nothing happens. I try to think, but nothing happens. But yeah, I'm down.
There's a lot of pictures if you would like to see them at Medical Freedom on the page on Facebook under the event Cheryl Miller Memorial.
All right.
11 years ago. This coming Sunday.
Jim Miller used to push her around in a bed. She had multiple sclerosis, and he used to push her in a bed and give her cannabis.
Oh, I know.
Illegally.
He was telling me the story at a couple candlelight vigils that we had done.
William, I broke the law over the past week. I broke the law.
What'd you do?
My sister was dying of this horrible disease, and I tithed her some of my cannabis. She was sleeping. She didn't know, but we gave her some cannabis oil in her belly button to try to help her because they gave her chemo and OxyContin and Fentanyl and all these horrible drugs, and and that's what killed her. She was not strong enough. Let me tell you what happened. She was fine a month ago. She was fine. She was sick for like a week. We begged her to go to the hospital. We thought it was kidney stones. So she finally went into the hospital. And they found out that she had stage 4 breast cancer. And that spread to her kidneys, her liver, her lungs, her bones, everywhere. It was untreated,
Oh, my God.
untreated for a long time. So she couldn't have any visitors in the hospital. We had to just drop her off at the hospital and leave her there. For 3 weeks, she sat in the hospital all by herself. She couldn't communicate with us. It was crazy.
Was unable to get the emotional support that she needed.
The emotional support, the advocacy, somebody to keep an eye on her and help her make decisions
Exactly.
while she didn't have that. And
How inhumane. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
so she was all by herself all this time. She didn't have the support that she needed. And if they would have said to me, Lefty, we're going to give her chemo, I would have said, no, she's not strong enough for chemo. Look at her. She's not strong enough for that. She wasn't strong enough for that, and that's what killed her. She could have been here, and we could have been giving her cannabis oil and helping her with that, but that chemo killed her, and they gave her some breast cancer drug that was just too much. And she never woke up from that. She came home for a few days, and she died on Pentecost Sunday, less than a year after her brother died.
Oh, my God.
So you want to talk about a family in distress and sad and just hurting. Yeah, that's us. We're just hurting, and we're still in shock.
My heart goes out to you.
She was a sweetheart, man. She was a sweet person. She never held a grudge against anybody. She was just a nice person. She's just, I don't get it.
Well, I mean, the chemotherapy is ridiculous, and I don't understand why they want to keep trying to use that. And I believe also that part of that was also used by the Nazis during the war.
There's still Nazis in America. They're still here, William.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, she.
My deepest condolences.
Thanks, buddy. It's been rough.
Like I had called you the other day to pass that information also.
I feel bad for her father because he buried his son less than a year ago, like almost to the day.
Wow.
And he's a tough old guy. He's out there, you know. He just had lung cancer too. He had treated for lung cancer, and he's got his own issues that he's trying to deal with, and
right,
you know, just brutal, man. But thanks,
anyway,
thanks, buddy. I
got that awareness this morning about the 11-11-11, and I wanted to run it by you.
Yep, I'm there, William. I'm there with you. All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, so
we'll
just
talk.
let me know what time you want to run the podcast.
All right, we'll talk later. Thanks, man.
All right.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. I didn't even hang up on. I always hang up on William. And I didn't do that today. Oh, God. Let me give Leo a call. The voice of reason. There's a lot of stuff going on in this country, and you know, I'm not going to tell anybody how to protest. I'm a white guy. I'm not going to tell a black person how to protest. I have no idea about the black experience. But I do know one thing. There's people that are very upset that you're looting black-owned businesses and overthrowing black-owned businesses when you should be overthrowing the government. You go down a couple more blocks, you get to the State House. Maybe you could... shouldn't you be overthrowing the State House and looting the State House? I don't know. I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just asking a question. Wouldn't it be better to loot the State House, and wouldn't it be fun to take Murphy out and tar and feather him? I'm just saying. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing. I'm asking questions here. So I don't support tar and feathering Murphy, but is that something that's on the agenda? Is that something that could be done? I don't know. I'm just getting myself in trouble here. Let me call Leo. I'm not thinking right today. Leo, help me. Save me, Leo, please. Leo. Oh, Leo's great. I love Leo. He watched the planes crashed into the towers, and as soon as they crashed, he joined up the army. He joined in the army.
What's happening?
Hey, Leo, how are you, man?
I'm good.
Uh-oh. Are you on speakerphone?
Yes.
Yeah, please take me off that, because I can't really hear you.
How's that?
Oh, there's that voice that I need to hear. There it is. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing? How was the bishop?
We didn't talk to the bishop yet. I'm going to call him later.
Okay.
Yeah, after you. Maybe you can give me some pointers on how to deal with that, because you guys are on opposite issues, too, on the cannabis issue, right?
Oh, very, very, very opposite
Yeah.
issues. I mean, but you know what's interesting is that we're actually friends. So it all it is just two black black men with different opinions. That's all, opposite opinions. But it doesn't mean that we can't be cordial, we can't be nice. And I've had, many a good conversation with Bishop Jethro James.
Yeah, me too.
So I love that man. That's my man.
Me too. He's awesome. He prayed for my sister. He prayed for my sister, bro. He sent me such a nice little prayer. Here, let me read it to you. Here. I told him my sister had passed away, and he sent me this. This is amazing. It was actually. Hold on. He says here. Oh boy. You have my deepest condolences. Lorraine's living with our Lord, no sickness, and she moved to a gated community. For there are 12 gates to the city. She has her own mansion, so we don't mourn as those who have no hope.
Why am I not surprised?
Dude, that was so helpful to us as a family, a hurting family, to hear those beautiful words. Simple, short, sweet, and helpful. It was helpful words. So, yeah. Bishop
Yeah,
James.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, just because we disagree on the entire cannabis situation, that doesn't mean that we can't be human to each other. We can't be brothers to each other, or God's love doesn't extend to me because I'm for full legalization or something. You know what I'm saying? That's not how, I appreciate the bishop for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
besides, I think that truth be told, I think he likes me because I'm not afraid of him.
I like that. So Leo,
He likes that I give him a hard time.
I love it too. He needs to be pushed a little bit because he's a Christian man. I know he's for medical, but he's not for recreational. I know that. He might be for home grow. I'm gonna pick his brain later.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's an opportunity to see how deep it can go. How educated is he?
Right. It's all about
because
educate. Yeah.
truth be told, people like us, we believe all consumption is medicinal. Just folks just don't know it yet. And so how much does he know at this time in time, particularly after a pandemic?
Yes.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, has your mind changed, or has it expanded, or whatever?
Have you seen the people suffering on the lines at the dispensaries? Have you seen the people that can't get their medicine? Can we help them by giving them home grow? I mean, I'm sure.
I've actually been on those lines.
Ugh.
And like I remember one time I waited almost 3 hours. And but I spent that time, you know me, Lefty. I spent that time talking to everybody in line. Shit. I was like, okay, so how do you feel? What do you think? And excuse me, the biggest thing that people were worried about is would they be able to get their cannabis? Would they be able to get their medicine? Would there be what you can buy and how much you can buy and all that stuff? And to be quite honest with you, those fears are largely unfounded. They have not, no one's closed because they ran out of cannabis.
Right.
But what the COVID crisis did do is it became the unofficial cutoff point, Lefty. And the cutoff point being, those of us who are already doing it are going to have to be the ones to do it for everybody else in the beginning. Because we still have to deal with the collateral damage from COVID-19. Or what we still haven't been able to give a full battle assessment of what this all did to us as an industry. So those are things that, and mind you also, Lefty, that there's going to have to be a very real investment in patient and consumer confidence. I need to feel good about my shit. I need to feel good about coming to visit you in your establishment. So what are you doing to make me feel good about this? That's what a lot of businesses are going to have to do. They're going to have to probably submit some sort of after COVID-19 action plan.
Yeah, the Breakwater did a good job on building that whole wall there and putting safety measures in. They're very efficient once you get past that line, that 3-hour line. They're pretty efficient, but the line is the line. It's you got to wait on line. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen wheelchairs on that line, walkers, people with horrible diseases waiting for 3 hours out of their life for medicine. That you can have booze delivered to your house, but you got to wait on a 3-hour cannabis line. Come on, man.
Yeah. Like you're talking about the home grow aspect.
Yeah, I want home grow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that remember the Jetsons and Flintstones and all that stuff. Like home grow, and I've said this before. Home grow is too advanced of a subject for these people. That's too advanced. They barely can say cannabis. You know what I'm saying? They still call it marijuana. They still say gateway drug. All that stuff. And you really think that they have the capacity to be able to process home grow? They still call cannabis drugs.
Yeah.
As right as you are, though. And don't get me wrong, you're right about home grow. So is Ed Fortune. The problem is that you literally are talking to people who cannot understand this shit.
Me and Ed Fortune disagree on the solution to this. He says a lot of he says everything is true that he says is true, but his solution is wrong. He wants to vote no. He wants to vote no to continue arresting black people, people of color, continue the Jim Crow laws, and I want to end all that. And I want the working class to get these licenses that they're going to have in November. I want a license to grow, and I want to be able to afford it as a working class citizen. I want to afford those licenses too.
Well, Lefty, you gotta, at this point, because let me say this to you. I'm saying this to you as your friend, okay? I care about you, so I need you, and I need you around. I need you here for a while longer, okay? That being said, you can't you can't fight every fight. You know what I'm saying? With everybody. And you have to look at who you talking to at that time in time when you're about to go into whatever debate. Is this person worthy of your time and effort at this time? You know what I'm saying? And so when I think about it like this, being a leader is not about being in charge. Being a leader is about taking care of those in your charge. And your number one priority as a leader is the health and safety and well-being of the people in your charge. Now, we already know that there is a police culture issue in this country. We knew that way back when Ed Fortune got arrested. Okay? We've always said that. We've been saying that for years. So the one thing that and especially when you look at it with how it plays out here in New Jersey, the one thing that I'm not going to do is I'm damn sure ain't going to promote sending more black people to jail. If folks would have done what Ed Fortune wanted, what he suggests you do, which is to fill up the jails, right? If people had did that, and this COVID thing kicked off, then what? Oops, my bad. I'm sorry. Could have been done better. Punch the shoulders or whatever. Is that what the reaction would be? I am not about to put those in my charge in harm's way deliberately. Not like this, especially when you have a police culture issue in this state. So think about that for a second. And then the second thing is, as a leader, your best ability is availability. If I'm not around, what happens to my cause and my organization? Is there someone ready to step in and fill my shoes while I'm not there? And so when you're taking on these monumental, tasks, and you're wanting to, hit them, like meet them head on, realize what it is that you're asking of people, and then realize where you need to be at. That's where me and Ed Fortune kind of, we differ on our approach. Still a good friend of mine as well.
Me too.
But we just have a different way, a different approach to how we look at all this.
Well, you're voting yes in November, correct?
I'm sorry?
You're going to vote yes in November?
Oh, of course, yes.
Why?
Because the greater good. Lefty, do you know that there are 5 times more people who need medicinal cannabis than are registered and will not register because they don't want to be on some list? You realize that? It's about what's the biggest impact in terms of getting this medicine to the masses. Now, of course, the devil is definitely in the details and how this will play out. But I am desperate for this to happen. Not to mention the fact that I want to stop being locked up for this shit. Especially when you look at what's going on. Lefty, how many people now qualify for a state medical marijuana program based off of anxiety and PTS as of lately, right?
Yes.
So we're going to hold it all up again with all this happening. Mind you, you're in the midst of a pandemic. When they cut the lights on to this motherfucker, they're going to have we're going to be in a depression. And 3 weeks ago, 40 million people applied for unemployment benefits. So as of right now, I mean, we have to not only has the official cutoff point already happened, but we need to be in the midst of building an infrastructure that's going to train a first generation workforce. And because all these people are going to be unemployed, that first generation workforce is going to be multi-generational. You think about it for a second, Lefty. There's a lot of kids that's not going to be working. That's not going to be working this summer. You know why? Because the adults going to take those jobs. Going to be a lot of older people working at Great Adventures this summer. Going to be a lot of older people who are going to be lifeguards this summer. And there's going to be a lot of older, middle-aged people who are going to be bud tenders and trimmers and all that. Like, come on, man.
Sorry.
You okay?
No, I'm not really okay.
You just processing what I just thrown at you?
I'm not okay, Leo.
What's the matter, brother? I'm here.
I probably wasn't supposed to mention my sister.
Oh, that brought you down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about her in the past tense is the new normal now. It just don't sound right?
No, not at all.
Yeah. Listen, listen, man. I mean, you have to. They'll never. I'm sorry. I got you on the phone, so I figured I would just, grind up some Bridge H2O.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about that. You have a strain named after you. Congratulations. That's pretty amazing. If anybody deserves it, it's you, Leo. How is it? Do you like it?
I call that my Prince Akeem move. You remember Coming to America?
Yeah.
Remember when the father told the daughter, your boyfriend got his own money, and when I say, baby, he got his own money, he got his own money. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what this is. It's my Prince Akeem move.
Amazing.
But yeah, man, it was that whole thing came about like a year ago, a year and a half ago, actually. Talking with Shia up at Harmony, and we talked about. I'll be honest with you, Lefty. I never want to do this again, ever. Never, ever, ever want to do that again, because it was one big therapy session, Lefty. I had to, through this process, I figured out I had triggers that I didn't know I had. You have to. I had to relive some things that I preferred not to. I didn't realize how much I had compartmentalized. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that have happened to me, and it was through working with Adam, the grower up at Harmony, Adam Johnstone. Working with him, and he didn't know it was going to be this either. But he never really had anybody who was willing to open themselves up about what they're thinking and their feelings and all that stuff. And so a lot of it was a back and forth about, if I smoke this, how did I react to this? What were my days like? What terpene profiles do I respond to positively? What was sleep like and all that stuff, and talk about dreams and like what happened that day that would bring on that dream. These are all the things. I shit you not, Lefty. These are things like, there were plenty of times I left Adam sitting there with his mouth wide open, like, what the hell did you just tell me? You see what I'm saying? And so one day I went up there, and I saw Adam, and he said, "Hey, bro, we got it." And I said, "You're kidding me." He said, "No, we figured it out." And I said, "Okay." And sure enough, in April, that's when it all harvested. So this has been this was a long time coming in terms of it coming about. You know what I'm saying? Not easy at all.
Leo, I probably said some stuff I shouldn't have said. I said that the rioters, shouldn't they be going to the State House and overthrowing the State House instead of the liquor stores? Am I wrong for saying that? I don't know. I don't know how to tell people how to protest.
Well, you know what you do? I mean, it's an interesting thing, because there were people that came to protest here in Trenton that were not from Trenton. And what's crazy is people knew they weren't for Trenton because they were asking questions like, yeah, where's the shopping district? Okay, you're not from here, because nobody in Trenton says shopping district. And you were asking that question while walking down the middle of downtown Trenton, which technically is the shopping district.
Yeah.
So when you look at the way people were mixing themselves into the crowds with the protesters, but they were there to do damage and harm. You know, mind you, these are folks who thought to come into somebody else's community and cause destruction and lay blame at the people who live in that community. So, remember when I told you your number one priority is the health and safety of the people in your charge?
Yes.
The first thing you should have been telling people is to take their asses home. This is a pandemic. And what I saw was, you know, people who rolled back 90 days worth of flattening the curve. There's a very real possibility that a lot of people will not even be here come November to vote because somebody went to a protest somewhere. There was no real social distance measures being adhered to. Everybody didn't have PPE on. And the thing you think to do is to gather up. Now, see, the thing is that I understand why. I understand the frustration behind it. I really do. I'm black. I'm a black man. I've been manhandled by the police as well. And sat down on the sidewalk and had my car ransacked through. You know, I know what that's like. You know, but it doesn't. And no matter how angry I am because of what happened with George Floyd, you know what I'm saying, Ahmaud Arbery, and when you look at what the Amy Cooper situation in Central Park, none of those things actually supersede your health and safety. And gathering in large crowds like that puts your health and safety and the health and safety of those you love in danger. Because you just went somewhere and exposed yourself to a whole lot of people when in the midst of a pandemic that has a contagion rate of +2. We have to be smart about the way we're going to do this. Lefty, as of today, me and you have exactly 4 months, 3 weeks, and 6 days before election day. That's a lot of time. That's not a lot of time in the grand scheme of it all. And I know you know that, right?
It's no time at all.
Yeah, exactly. And yet we still have to educate the whole 9 yards. The entire country now, like I said, qualifies for a state medical marijuana program for either anxiety or post-traumatic stress corona. And so these are the issues that we have ahead of us are mighty. And so, do I think that you told those people the wrong thing? No. I mean, yes, because of the pandemic. But no, if it wasn't no pandemic. You understand what I'm saying?
So tarring and feathering Phil Murphy is a good or bad idea?
That's a bad idea.
Okay, just asking.
Yeah, because you know what? That's another thing I want to say about that too. Over the last, Phil Murphy has been the president. Listen to me. Phil Murphy has been the governor of New Jersey for what, 2 years now?
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, going on 3. All right. At the end of the day, I don't feel like he's been here long enough to push a button, twist a knob, sign a piece of paper to cause the kind of damage to this state that people are accusing him of. And I keep staring at folks, especially like the ones like Bill Spadilla and all them. Because I'm like listening to him, I'm like, dude, you act like we didn't have 8 years of Chris Christie. And then you got Chris Christie talking shit. Like, yeah, where's the government? Bitch, we're fucked up because of you. You were here for 8 years and you tore this state a brand new asshole. I could tell you right now, Lefty, when Phil Murphy got in the office and he looked at the damn New Jersey medical marijuana program, guaranteed he looked at everybody and said, "Oh shit, it's worse than what they told us, y'all."
Oh man.
And it was. So I'm not really like, especially since I know how government works and I know how long it takes for decisions to actually, when decisions are made before I actually feel it and everything like that. I really do believe that people are putting way too much on somebody who's only been in office for 2 years and gave somebody who's been in office and fucked this state up for 8 years. Y'all giving him a pass, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But then you have things like, Ahmaud Arbery and Amy Cooper, Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? The thing what Amy Cooper did to that black dude in Central Park. You know what I'm saying? You have a very real police culture problem. Look at the arrest report for the ACLU. That shit predates Phil Murphy. And nobody's saying anything. Matter of fact, they make it sound like he's the one who did that. And it's like, no. This is all Chris Christie. Y'all's making money off of us.
I'm going to read something to you. I want to read something to you. This is from Ephesians. It says, "We have a struggle, not against blood and flesh, but against the governments, against the authorities, against the world rulers of this darkness, against the wicked." That's from Ephesians. In this country, I can prove that this country is racist, sexist, and corrupt, because that's all we've done in the last couple hundred years is racism, sexism, and corruption. Why do we expect anything different from this government today? These are godless people. They do not believe in God because you can't serve two gods. You can only serve corruption, power, and greed, and money, and all that, or you can serve God. You can't serve both. And these people are serving evil. These are evil, corrupt people, Leo, and you know this. And I got a big problem with our government just continuing this cycle that they've been. I'm just sick of it, Leo. I'm sick of it, and I don't know.
You know what? Look, this is how I see it. When you're in a combat zone, right? You could tell who's new and who's been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have been there for a while, every time there's a snap, they don't flinch. The new people, they quick to duck. And those snaps are just the snipers. The reason why the people who's been there the longest don't duck anymore is because they already know if you hear it, it wasn't for you. You already know. If you hear it, it's over. You know what I'm saying? That round, wherever the hell whatever round produced that sound, that snap, that round was not for you. Because if it was for you, you wouldn't know it.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
You be took out before you actually heard the sound. And so when I see, like when I look at this situation with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and everything like that, am I angry? Hell fucking yeah. Am I frustrated? Yeah, but I mean, I'm also not surprised. I mean, all those are the incidences that were caught on tape. Okay, those are the ones you know. Those are the ones we know about. But what about all the ones that we don't know? And the thing is that the ones we don't know about are the ones that everyone was screaming about forever. When George Floyd got killed, everybody was like, "See, I told you, see." It was the same thing with Rodney King. That was the beating that we saw. And when those cops did what they did, and knelt on and one cop put his knee in his neck, that was the same pose that they take when they kill an elephant or a lion. So at that moment, George Floyd was no longer a person to that cop. He was a thing. What that cop did, that's what you do to a thing, not a person. And so he was collecting his trophy. He got him one. You know, a nice big black buck. And so that's what that was. And then, you know, when you look at Amy Cooper and what she did, you know what I'm saying? She, you know, and mind you, this is a white liberal Hillary Rodham Clinton supporter. You know what I'm saying? But in the moment she didn't get what she wanted the way she wanted it, she chose to demonstrate how to wield inherent power that she thinks that she has. So I get your frustration, but I will challenge you to say that I'm not the person you should be talking to. You need to go into your community and explain to your community why this shit ain't good. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because that's like me. It's like you basically preaching to the proverbial to the choir.
Well, Leo, I know a lot of cops that say that this puts their life in that evil, murderous cop put all the good cops' lives in danger. Because there are good cops, there are bad cops, and these bad cops need to be called out, and these good cops need to take the bad cops out.
I was going to say, once again, this is what you get when good people say nothing.
Right.
And we keep hearing that over and over again. I tell every cop to start talking to your own. It ain't us. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's example after example. You know, and listen, I know that this is specifically about black people because Indian people can come just as dark, if not darker than me in some cases, and they ain't got this problem. So it's black people.
Leo, if you, go ahead.
Go ahead.
If you listen to conservative radio, which I listen to sometimes, today you're going to hear some disgusting things. Right now they're talking about George Floyd like he was on drugs, and that's what killed him. And the coroner's report said he was on drugs, and he had other issues that contributed to his death. And they're all trying to backpedal and rationalize why he died now. And this is disgusting, what I'm seeing on conservative radio right now. Disgusting.
But why are you surprised, though, Lefty? I mean, look. A cop walked into another man's house and killed him because she thought it was hers.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what they did? They searched his house and found weed and put that shit out there. Not realizing you're talking about the church choir director. Really? We already knew. Everybody said it the day he died. Now watch how they tell you that there's going to be some perfectly good explanation as to why he died. This is going, you know, the toxicology report and all that stuff. You know what that shit did? All that did was it made white folks feel better.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly what it did.
It just made them feel better. Like, oh, okay, see, I knew there was something else to it.
Yeah.
It had to be more to it.
There was more to the story. I knew it. Well.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, you know. And they did the same thing to the youngin who was in his apartment, and the cop walked in and murdered him.
Are you talking about Botham Jean, who was killed for eating ice
Yes.
cream and watching football, and an officer mistook his apartment for her own and shot him?
Yes, and killed him in his apartment.
Yeah, Botham Jean.
But you know what the media did? You know what the police department did? They put out that they searched his apartment and they found weed. Okay, wait a minute.
Oh wow.
Quick question here. Why were y'all searching his apartment? There was no need to search his apartment. He got killed for sitting in his apartment. So why are you searching it? There's nothing to be searched. There's no reason to search. He didn't have. Who cares if there's a weapon or anything in there? He was watching football in his home. And then, mind you, like imagine what it must be like for me, like to hear this shit, to see this shit. Mind you, I went overseas and fought for this country, but I come back here and this is what I get. So my American experience has not ever really been able to reach its full potential because, you know what I'm saying, because of the color of my skin, I'm not afforded the same opportunities and rights as a lot of other people based on what we just seen here. And mind you, you have a president who's going to turn the United States military against Americans.
Should Trump be tarred and feathered?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
there we go.
You
Thank
know what though?
Let's get them all. Let's get them all.
No. I would say no.
No. Okay.
No, hell no.
All
Because you know why? Trump. It's easy to blame Trump. It's real easy to blame Trump because he's something that we could lay on him. We could see him. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, Trump is just a manifestation of us.
He's a figurehead.
This is us. This country. This is us. And what he's doing and his response to what he's doing with the military and his response to the pandemic, these are all the parts of the application that he lied about. But at the end of the day, the racism and everything like that, that is America. America for forever has been talking about how we can't afford reparations and why should I pay and all this other stuff. But you just wrote a $3 trillion check and you're ready to write another $3 trillion check. And we did the math and reparations comes up to just about $1 trillion. So don't tell me that we cannot afford reparations. Don't tell me that we can't afford to cancel all student debt. Don't tell me we can't afford to give everybody universal health care. Not when y'all spending this kind of money. And then on top of that, when you look at who got the money, the millionaires got most of the money. So who's looting who? Really? Who's looting who?
Some of these prohibitionists and these the naysayers, the people that are voting no, are saying that there's going to be no opportunity for black people to get into this industry. But you got into the industry. How did you get in? Being a black man, how did you get into the industry? If they're saying that people can't get in, how did you get in?
Oh, let me tell you something. You already know when prohibitionists say that tells you right then and there they actually don't know how this industry works. And that's really when you say, well, Leo Bridgewater's in the industry, you know what I'm saying? That right there, that they don't know that information. They don't know who's who, what's what. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lefty, do you really have to ask how I got in? You've been there since day one.
Like Ed Fortune says that. He knows you well, and he says that there's going to be limited access, and I agree, there is. But what we have to fight for is these licenses that are going to be available in November. We have to fight for those licenses to be available to the working class like us.
Oh, listen. Let me tell you. I believe. Here's how I see it. You're going to see after they get this next round of licensing through and all this other stuff, right? I believe you're going to see a succession of RFAs. There's going to be a lot of licenses, and I'm going to tell you the one that you really want, the one for the ones that have the least barriers to access is the micro licenses. And let me tell you why that's important. Because when everything goes down, you know what I'm saying, and everybody's planted their flag, it's really going to be about brand. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my grandfather, I'll never forget this. I know this. He's been gone for almost over 20 years. And I remember, and I could tell you that my grandfather, his favorite pack of cigarettes was Benson and Hedges 100s.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was a Benson and Hedges man. But then my older cousin Alice, she liked Paul Malls.
Oh, it's even
You know what I'm
worse.
saying? Yeah, and then like my mom, she used to smoke Newports. It's going to be the same thing with cannabis, because the one thing people don't realize is that cannabis consumers are notoriously loyal to a fault. You understand what I'm saying? We know what we like, and we pretty much stick with it.
That's right.
That's why the legacy market is still thriving. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Exactly.
That's the reason why. And so at the end of the day, no matter what multi-state operator is doing what or what have you, and it has how many dispensaries, motherfuckers is going to want that bridge H2O. Because that's just the thing that works for them.
I want some. I haven't even had any yet, and I want some. I want to smoke you. That sound like your drill sergeant, right? Leo, I'm going to smoke you.
Now, listen, understand something. When you say that, right, like that, you know who you sound like?
Your drill sergeant.
Yes, yes. You sound like a drill sergeant, like, but like I kind of get it, like, okay, I'm not getting smoked for real, you know what I'm saying? But damn, yeah. And I went to Fort Benning.
Show me your high face. Show me your high face.
Your war face. Let me hear your war cry.
Oh man.
Oh God,
That's too
Lefty
funny.
is so shot out.
Listen. Getting back to the riots. Who is leaving pallets of bricks around the big cities? Who is doing that? And why?
Who's doing what?
Who's leaving pallets of bricks all over the city, and why?
It would probably wow.
Yeah, dude.
Those are your white supremacists.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yep, those are your white supremacists. They just trying to agitate. They trying to get it like here y'all go. Yep.
There's white people smashing windows, and
Yep.
the smashing up the curb, and black people are taking these white people and turning them into the cops because they're like, they're not with us. We're not here to break stuff. Unbelievable.
Well, the thing is that we live here. As soon as y'all finish breaking some shit up, they're gonna come here and they're gonna say it's us. And mind you, we're talking about the state of New Jersey, who likes to arrest and beat black people. Okay, and you're gonna come here. You're gonna cause all kinds of trouble, and then leave, and they're gonna blame that shit on us. Hell no. That's what that shit is, Lefty.
It's what it seems like. It seems like a setup. There's a lot of money behind this. And who's paying for all those bricks? Who's paying for all this destruction? Because there's a lot of people that just want to protest and protest peacefully. And then there's other people that just want to destroy stuff and destroy the black community. And man, I'm not telling anybody how to protest, but I can't imagine. I don't know.
Lefty, look at all of the dispensaries that got hit during these protests.
Yeah.
Right? Where are people going to get their medicine from? You see what I'm saying?
Out in L.A., they destroyed a few. Yeah. Cookies got.
All those people.
Yeah.
That work there.
Right. They took out Cookies in L.A. They took out a few dispensaries in L.A. Have any dispensaries in New Jersey been affected yet?
None that I'm aware of.
Yeah, me neither.
And you know why? I said this. I said that's like the fact that a lot of these little small towns and stuff that said yes to these dispensaries were so skittish about it that they put them in the outskirts of the city. That should have saved them.
Mm.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah. This is true.
And the ones in Atlantic City are good. So it's like, okay, you need to know, again, who's who, what's what. You know what I'm saying? If you look at these protests, you know, has a ROE been established? A rules of engagement. Has that been established?
No.
Has the leadership been identified?
No, they're shooting reporters in the eye. They're shooting. They're pushing old people to the ground with canes.
Yeah, I saw that. I put that on my Facebook page yesterday.
Come on, man.
I was like, see, well, but I thought we were supposed to be making America great again.
Let's make God great again.
See what? But you know what, though, man? Listen, you get an opportunity like that. I want you to do something, okay? This is for you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And anybody else who is any white person and black person, especially black people, but white people, take a listen to Malcolm X's 1964 speech called "The Ballot or the Bullet." Okay, take a look at that and ask yourself how much of that is still applicable today. These are one of the things that I like. The speech was one of my teaching tools for my son, because I have a 13-year-old son, Langston. Lefty as well. You know Langston. You know what I'm saying? He's 3. You know, but and you met LJ. What am I talking about?
Sure.
You met LJ.
Of course.
Yeah. Now LJ is you haven't seen him since we did that stuff.
No,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Okay, Lefty, he's taller. He's as tall as me. He's taller than you.
Oh man.
Okay, I know, right? Feet big as hell. Okay, legs long, arms long. Okay, he's 13, so Lefty, he's at that awkward stage. You remember that? When
Yeah.
you were 13.
I'm still there.
You know,
I'm still
and
there.
I see him. You know, Lefty. I always tell him, I see you, son. Don't worry. I see you he's just trying to figure out his frame. And, you know, I tell him, don't worry, that's what Dad is here for, you know. But I also have to explain to him that he can't enjoy this world, this country, like his brother can. His experience is going to be is different. And the reason why is because he's 13 now. Your little brother is a cute little black boy. You are a scary black guy now because of your height. You see what I'm saying? You're a scary black man in the eyes of a lot of people. Son, I'm sorry to tell you, but your skin has been weaponized, i.e. look at George Floyd. Again, i.e. look at Amy Cooper, i.e. look at Amal Bradley. Like, these are all things. So this is all teaching material for me. And how I have to help my son to navigate this world as a black man.
You told your son your skin has weaponized you?
His skin has been weaponized.
That's deep.
His skin color has been weaponized.
That is the most profound thing I've heard in a long time. That is, wow.
Got it.
Wow.
My son can't. You remember the challenge, the dunk challenge, where people would jump out their cars and run into somebody's backyard and dunk on their basketball rim?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my son can't do that. His white friends can, but my son can't do that. You know why? Because his skin color has been weaponized. If a white person sees him running into their driveway, and before he can even dunk on the rim, he can get shot. You see what I'm saying? My son can't stand up to the cops like his white counterparts are. Who do you think you are? You can't talk to me that way. He can't do that shit. Think about it. My son can't sit in his apartment and watch football without a cop walking in, killing him, thinking it's his.
What happened to that cop?
My son can't even go to Bible study without a white person coming in and shooting everybody. And you know what the cops do when that happens? They take that white person to Burger King. So you see what I'm saying? Like, my experience. Ask yourself this, Lefty. Where is Adolf Hitler High School? Where's that at?
Wait, what?
Where in the United States is Adolf Hitler High School?
There's no Adolf Hitler High School. Come on.
Okay. Where in the United States is the statue of Adolf Hitler?
No, there's no statues of Adolf Hitler around. No.
Okay. Guess what?
What?
I and my sons have to look at the equivalent of that every fucking day. Because a lot of these statues are people who were slave owners. Recognize, man, I'm part of the one group who did not come here, who came here forcibly. I didn't ask to come to this country. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that there are people, there are white folks here who kill black people and then tease the kids for not having a father. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of shit that happens. I mean, look at the white kids right now that's out there putting up the pictures of themselves and their friends playing around with their friends on the ground, and they have their knee on their friend's
That
back,
was so
and they're smiling.
that was so offensive to me. I'm disgusted, and I apologize for those idiot white people because that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Even if they were trying to be helpful.
Now you see why I say you really don't need to be talking to me. You need to be in your own community talking to them folks.
Leo, you're right. You're right. I have no way or no purpose or position to tell anybody how to protest. Just myself.
Right. Yeah, you just got to talk. And the thing is that, you know, you look at these kids, because you look at these white kids, what they do. You know what I'm saying? They like to stoke the fire. They like to make that shit even more. And we're talking white kids, all right, who also like to come into neighborhoods and leave pallets of bricks. You know what I'm saying? So they can get. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the type of shit we're dealing with. It's like everything has to deal with, you know, like, yo, you know what? I tell all my white friends, like, yo, y'all don't need to be talking to me. You need to be talking to your own folks. Educate their asses. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it is more white people who are being silent than who are actually saying anything. Truth be told, because if they weren't being so silent and so complacent, we wouldn't be having these types of issues. These kids ain't doing nothing that their parents ain't teach them.
That's right. Where'd you learn that?
And then the parents be like, "Oh my God, we're not racist. Some of our closest friends are black." No. And even with the Amy Cooper situation, I told my son, I said, "Son, she tells everybody she's not racist. You know what I'm saying? No, what she does, she is racist. She just doesn't call the cops on the black people she knows."
It's little things like when you drive through Patterson and you lock your doors and you put your windows up and you tell your kids, no, keep your doors locked. Well, you're telling your kids that you're in an unsafe area. You're not. It's not a good thing when you do stuff like that. You're teaching your children that black people are bad.
Lefty, this state, you know what they do in this state, Lefty? They round up people with mental health issues from all over the state, and then they drop them off in places like North Trenton and Camden. They do that here. That's real.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you have people who think to do that type of shit, you really think they're gonna listen to you? Mm-hmm. You really think they care about me? You know what I'm saying? Like this arrest rate and use of force rate. You know, this ain't no admiration. This ain't no happenstance or a rogue thing. No, this was policy. Policy before Phil Murphy. You see what I'm saying?
Leo, when they wrote,
it's
I
we
hear
gotta
you.
we gotta know who we fighting against, man, and we also gotta speak the same language. So let me say this to you, okay? Lesson number 1: black people cannot be racist. Okay? We cannot be racist. in order to be racist, you need certain elements. In order to fit the description, in order to fit the true definition of racist, you need certain elements. And one of those elements, the biggest element, is you need to have power. You need to have the kind of power that affects an entire race, not one or two people, an entire race. Okay, we haven't been in that position. Even when Barack Obama was president, Mitch McConnell and them damn sure made sure that they was going to make sure he was going to be an ineffective president. So when you look at now, can black people be prejudiced? Hell yeah. Can we be bigoted? Hell yeah. We just can't be racist. We ain't in that position. White folks are the only ones who can be racist right now.
Leo, when they wrote the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, these were all slave owners that voted for life, liberty, and happiness.
And they wasn't thinking about us.
Except for black people.
Yeah, they weren't thinking. We had our humanity stripped from us. We were only 3/5 of a human.
Then they tried to backpedal and fix the law that they screwed up, and they said, okay, now you can have 3/5 of your what?
Yeah, and mind you, Lefty, slavery just came off the books a few years ago in Alabama.
Yeah, I saw that.
And this country just outlawed lynching just a few months ago. They voted on it, and there are people who are in the United States government that voted against the lynching law, the anti-lynching law. So when I tell you we got work to do, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sorry. When I tell you you got work to do with your people, damn, dog. We're not the ones you need to be talking to. When it comes to us, you just need to be listening to what we say. Don't tell me what help is. I'll tell you what help is.
Right. You tell me what you need, and I'm there.
Yeah. Right, do what I tell you to do.
Right. I'm there for you.
Don't.
But yeah, I'm not. I'll keep my mouth shut because I'm. Yeah, you're right.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Listen,
but,
like Drew Brees. Listen, don't talk.
Like, a lot of white folks don't even like to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Be a listener.
This is uncharted. Yeah. When you think about it, this is uncharted territory. I'm sorry. Not just uncharted territory. This is uncharted territory for the country as a whole, but it's scary territory for a lot of white folks. Remember, we're asking the oppressor to give up its power. You really think they're going to do that shit? Why do you think they're trying to rush to get, why do you think they hurried up and fast-tracked Kavanaugh into the Supreme Court? Because him being on the Supreme Court, having this older white man on the Supreme Court was more of a priority and took precedent over what him and his friends did to that lady. And I'll be honest with you, I believe her. When she said, and they held me down and was laughing at me, that's when I was like, I know little twerps like that. I know little white boy twerps that do that type of shit. I went to school with people like that. I knew the description was too good. I was like, yeah, I know them type of people. Yeah. So again, like in all honesty, and it's good that you got Bishop James because the church community, the black church is traditionally seen as the gatekeepers to the African American community. So what y'all gonna do? You gonna give me another Phoenix rising through the ashes speech? You're gonna give me some really good zingers, like if it don't fit, you must have quit type shit. Nah, money. I got other plans. When people calm down and their adrenaline ain't running so much, the question is going to be, so what's next? What do we do now? And I have to be able to, say, well, here's a plan. I'm not saying it's the plan. I'm just saying it's a plan. And that's what I'm working on right now. That's where my thought process is. That's what I'm thinking. I'm realizing that I'm 4 months away from getting ready. I'm sorry, 5 months away from getting ready to vote for this shit. I got projects that I got to get going. I got jobs that I got to get veterans to fill. You see what I'm saying? And now I got this shit that I got to deal with on top of a pandemic. Okay. So now we those of us that's in that working mode, you know what I'm saying? You'll see. 2020 is still going to be a damn good year, a real fucking good year.
Well, you're optimistic.
Hey, man, I got a strain named after me that dropped in April. Why not? Right?
That is pretty amazing. I got to give it to you. That's amazing. God
So
bless
it's
you.
already been a good year, right?
Yeah.
Right, Lefty?
Yes.
Come on, man. You got to help me out, bro.
For some of you guys, yeah. For some of us, yeah. Some of us, no. But yeah. Well, like I said, anybody deserves it. It's you, and I appreciate the work you do with vets and all the work you do with the minorities for medical
well, you
marijuana.
know what, Lefty? Let me say this, man. Like again, you were real day one. You was there, Lefty. That you and Jim and Ken started me on this journey. Think about that for a second. Remember when I came and sat down with y'all and we talked in front of the State House?
Yep. Never forget that.
And then look at where we at now.
That's right. Look where you're at now.
You know
You've been very successful. You've amazing. It's just been amazing.
How long ago was that, Lefty?
5 years,
Like,
6 years.
5 years. God damn. 5 years.
Yeah, at least. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Podcast has been there for 6 years. This is the 6th year.
Yeah. Wow. You started it all, bro.
No, I didn't start it. Jackson Storms, the little kid with Gervais syndrome, started me on this journey at the
No,
State
I'm talking
House.
about for me.
Yeah. But thank you. I'll take that. But yeah, we were at the State House for Jackson Storms. Little Jackson had to move out of the state. Who was? All right, hold on. Somebody wants to.
Oh, yeah, because
Hold
you had
on.
to go to Colorado as a refugee.
Hold on, Leo. Somebody wants to come in on a three-way. Hold on. Let's see what they have to say. Hold on.
Okay.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on?
Who's this? Slav?
It's Slava.
Yeah, Slav. Call me back. I'm on the phone with Leo right now. Call me back.
Yeah, is podcast still going on?
Yeah, call me back, bro. I can't really hear you. Call me back. All right. I have to write his number down. I'm sorry, that was Slav from Pennsylvania. I don't know what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just wanted to say.
And they got and look at what they're doing. Their state legislature, that was some problematic bullshit. Right? You there, bro?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking. People are.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, people are commenting. I'm trying to do all this. I don't have a producer. I'm trying to do everything at once here, and I'm overwhelmed. But no.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Cause look, I'm up here. I ain't gonna lie. I've been trying to roll this damn joint since I got on the phone with you, and I'm up here. I can't see the comments, so I don't know what anybody is saying. I'm sure I probably pissed some people off.
Well, here's the deal. Some people say that you're a cannabagger. That's what one person with a fake profile named Grass says. He won't even use his real name. Says you're a cannabagger. And how do you respond to some idiot like that? Some guy named Grass, Bill Grass, fake account. He's a fake account. It's probably Wayne.
And he says I'm a cannabagger.
You're a cannabagger, like a canna. I'm sorry. Like a carpetbagger?
Oh, listen. I had some dude from Asbury. This dude, understand something. This is a white man, okay? And he tells me, you betrayed your race.
Oh, boy.
And he said, but that's okay. We understand.
we understand. Oh no! Don't speak for me.
First thing I thought.
Oh no!
First thing I'm thinking is, wait. Who the fuck is we? What we are you talking about?
Idiot! What an idiot!
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whoever the black people in their lives and his life was, they failed him. He got so fucking comfortable. This is that white privilege shit. He got so fucking comfortable. He felt like he could tell me that I'm no longer black. And he feels that he has some inherent authority to question my blackness, and he's white. See, that's right there is the technical example of white privilege.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you could tell another black man that he is no longer black.
Yeah.
Lefty, like, really?
I know.
And so, you know, you ask yourself, like, somebody who's like, yo, he's a cannabagger. You know what I'm saying? Really? I'm a can. All right, here's the thing. If I took the time to respond to something like that every time it was said, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, Lefty. It wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? There are people who are just, like, it doesn't matter what Leo does. People are just going to be angry because they ain't got nothing else to do but be angry. You see what I'm saying? That's it. You know, I'm not a person. I'm not a veteran. I'm not anything. I'm a cannabagger.
Right. I think he's off his meds. I think that's his problem. He's off his meds right now.
Yeah, oh, listen. There's a lot of people who are feeling anxious and angst and all that stuff, and they're going through it. You know, here's the thing. You know, I don't need to tout accomplishments, awards, or any of that stuff. What I need is I need to get the work. Okay, that's what I need to do. I need to continue to do these veteran job fairs that I did at Harmony, that I'm doing up at Justice Grown, that I'm doing in Atlantic City. You see what I'm saying? I'm the one who has to go to the Department of Labor to see if I can get them to authorize cannabis businesses for voc rehab, which they did, and then get the VA to shift funding from post 9/11 and Montgomery GI Bill to voc rehab, so that we can get these veterans into, you know what I'm saying? That's work. That's the work. You know what I'm saying? Whoever the person is that says cannabagger and all that other stuff, they ain't aware of none of that shit, man.
They like to.
That's what it boils down to. They don't see the jobs that's being created. They don't see the real work that's going on.
Nope.
Ain't nobody go out to Oklahoma City. Nope. And do the Cease event. I did.
The shit talkers.
No, like, really? Why even feed into that, Lefty? You got to realize, man.
Well, they attack me too.
There are going to be situations and people that are just beneath you, bro.
Yeah, they attack me too, Leo. I get it all the time.
Yeah.
And I sometimes I can't ignore it though. I jump in the mud with them like an idiot and waste my time and effort jumping in the mud with these idiots.
There you go. You can't be doing that, bro.
No, I know.
Not you.
I'm working on it.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's also, you know what else it is, Lefty? A lot of people are probably mad that they're not you.
I don't know. It's not all that great.
Seriously. I know it sounds funny and crazy, but think about it, Lefty. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. I mean, really, really think about it. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying there's some people, especially the keyboard activists and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That the reason why they're angry is because they're not you. They're not. They don't have your audience. They don't have your stature. They don't have the kind of respect that you have. They don't have that. None of that. They are angry. They are not you.
Well, thank you for that. I'm sure you get some of that too. I'd like to be you. I'll be you for a day.
You know what? If I do, I ain't paying it no damn mind. Because guess what? I got work to do.
That's right. We don't have time for this
If
crap.
you really was about that, if you was really about that action, you don't have time.
No.
You really don't have time to entertain these types of
You're right.
conversations and subjects and all that stuff. Nah. You know what I'm saying? You, Lefty, you know too many important people to be stuck on someone who's not unimportant. You got way too much work to be doing, right?
Here's the deal, though. These people,
Mm-hmm.
they go around and they spread rumors about me and you and other people in the community, and some of these rumors stick. And then eventually, these people get found out as idiots, but those hurtful things that they said still linger and resonate, even after they realize, oh, this person is an idiot, but the things that they said can't be taken back. And so you have no idea what Wayne has said about me. I mean, Wayne says stuff about you. Wayne has said stuff about me to a lot of people that has gotten back to me. Hurtful things, really hurtful, horrible things that are not true, but yet he put them out there. And then once they realize, oh, we're not going to be friends with him anymore, I'm still unfriended. I've never been refriended because he said all this horrible stuff about me, all these rumors. So it's like he brought us both down. They bring us both down. So you know what? I can't. You're right. Don't entertain it.
But Lefty, I'm black. You think what is Wayne doing that hasn't been done yet? If you think about it, I mean, just in the grand scheme of things, right? What is Wayne doing that I should not that I should be surprised about or upset about? That's the playbook.
That is the playbook.
You know what I'm saying?
The hater playbook.
Character.
The Wayne.
Forget the fact that he's a veteran. No, I don't like him.
Leo, Rich Morowski just said the Wayne drain. The Wayne drain.
The Wayne drain.
The Wayne drain. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Rich. Thank you. The Wayne drain. Don't feed into the Wayne drain. Don't go down the Wayne drain. There it is. Don't go down the Wayne drain.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's rough when, like being a black man that has to deal with, we bear the brunt of white innocence. You know what I'm saying? Having to protect white innocence. That shit is for people, for my people, that shit is deadly. It has been. You know what I'm saying? And so when you have people like, my man out in what's my man name out in Asbury Park?
I know it begins with a B. That's all I'm going to give you. B.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
That's the one that was like, yo, you betrayed your race.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
But you know what though? He might be having a heroin relapse.
He attacked Wolski.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know. A lot of these people have serious mental and chemical abuse, mental health and chemical abuse problems.
Well, he attacked Ken Wolski. He attacked Joanne Zito. So that shows you right there. The guy's just an idiot. You're going to attack.
Oh, yeah. See,
come on.
No, right there. That tells you he ain't got.
Yeah, you have no idea who you're talking to now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then being cavalier with saying the things that he said. You betrayed your race. Okay.
Oh, here goes Bill Grass, the fake account from Bill Grass. You do the same thing. The pot calling the kettle black. Okay, Bill Grass, I'm about to block your ass. Goodbye. We don't need you in our community anymore. Your fake account is now gone. Goodbye, Bill Grass. Your fake account is gone. I just blocked Bill Grass. Goodbye, Bill. Nice knowing you. Bye, Felicia. Idiot. Just blocked him. See ya. I'm done.
Damn.
That was easy.
Yeah, see? That's all you got to do. Now you got time to work. Yeah.
All right. Well, Leo, I'm going to go. I'm going to thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Brother, anytime you need me, I'm here, man.
And anything I could do to help you, let me know. I'm always here for you. And whatever you need,
no doubt. Thank you.
Let's do this. Let's vote.
Yeah, man.
Vote yes.
I love you, bro. For real, man.
Love you, Leo.
Take
You're
care,
awesome.
man.
Thanks, man. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Peace.
All right, Leo Bridgewater. He's awesome. Good stuff right there.
Afternoon, we want to talk about the ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. But before we get into it, since this is the year of the ballot or the bullet, I would like to clarify some things that refer to me personally concerning my own personal position. I'm still a Muslim. That is, my religion is still Islam. My religion is still Islam. I still credit Mr. Muhammad for what I know and what I am. He's the one who opened my eyes. And so today, though Islam is my religious philosophy, my political, economic, and social philosophy is black nationalism. You and I... As I say, if we bring up religion, we'll have differences, we'll have arguments, we'll never be able to get together. But if we keep our religion at home, keep our religion in the closet, keep our religion between ourselves and our God, but when we come out here, we have a fight that's common to all of us against an enemy who is common to all of us. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim or a nationalist, we all have the same problem. They don't hang you because you're a Baptist, they hang you because you're black. They don't attack me because I'm a Muslim, they attack me because I'm black. They attack all of us for the same reason. All of us catch hell from the same enemy. We're all in the same bag, in the same boat. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. All of them from the same enemy. The government has failed us. You can't deny that. Anytime you live in the 20th century and you walking around here singing, "We shall overcome," the government has failed. This is part of what's wrong with you. You do too much singing. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. And I'm here to tell you, in case you don't know it, that you got a new generation of black people in this country who don't care anything whatsoever about odds. They don't want to hear you old Uncle Tom handkerchief heads talking about the odds. No. This is a new generation. If they're going to draft these young black men and send them over to Korea or South Vietnam to face 800 million Chinese, if you're not afraid of those odds, you shouldn't be afraid of these odds. And when I speak, I don't speak as a Democrat or a Republican, nor an American. I speak as a victim of America's so-called democracy. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. If you go to jail, so what? If you're black, you were born in jail. If you black, you were born in jail. in the North as well as the South. Stop talking about the South. Long as you south of the Canadian border, you're South. This is why I say it's the ballot or the bullet. It's liberty or it's death. It's freedom for everybody or freedom for nobody. America today finds herself in a unique situation. Historically, revolutions are bloody. Oh, yes, they are. They have never had a bloodless revolution or a nonviolent revolution. That don't happen even in Hollywood. You don't have a revolution in which you love your enemy. And you don't have a revolution in which you are begging the system of exploitation to integrate you into it. Revolutions overturn systems. Revolutions destroy systems. A revolution is bloody. But America is in a unique position. She's the only country in history in a position actually to become involved in a bloodless revolution. All she's got to do is give the black man in this country everything that's doing. Everything. I hope that the white man can see this, because if you don't see it, you're finished. If you don't see it, you're going to become involved in some action in which you don't have a chance. We don't care anything about your atomic bomb. It's useless, because other countries have atomic bombs. When 2 or 3 different countries have atomic bombs, nobody can use it. So it means that the white man today is without a weapon. If you want some action, you got to come on down to earth. And there's more black people on earth than there are white people on earth. It'll be the ballot, or it'll be the bullet. It'll be liberty, or it'll be death. And if you're not ready to pay that price, don't use the word freedom in your vocabulary.
Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff there. Thank you, Leo. Thanks a lot for that, man. That was really good. All right. Let's see if my phones work. Let's call Bishop Jethro James. I hope he picks up. I did tell him I was calling today.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Hurtful.
9.
Maybe he'll call back. I did tell him we were calling today. I didn't say what time.
You may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Bishop James, hi, good afternoon. This is Lefty Grimes. I want to thank you again for sending us that beautiful prayer for my sister yesterday. That was beautiful, very helpful to the whole family. I showed it to her fiance, and he wanted me to personally tell you thank you. It was very meaningful for us. It was really good. You talked about a gated community, and she's living in a mansion now. And she's doing great in heaven. So just thank you for that. It was very important for you to, for us to hear that from you. If you get a chance, give us a call back. I'm going to be on the air for another half hour or so. My number is 908-616-0682. We're not at the State House anymore because we were. Our State House podcasts were canceled because of COVID, so we're not there right now. We just had Leo Bridgewater on, and I know you and Leo are on the opposite sides of the cannabis issue. I would like to talk to you about the cannabis issue a little bit. I I know Leo is feels one way about it. You feel a different way, and I feel a different way. And I'd like to talk about that. As Christians, we should probably all get together and figure out how to help the sick people in our state. There's lines at the dispensary, people in wheelchairs, people in walkers at on these lines that can't get their medicine. And there is rich white people selling this medicine for money, while people with cancer cannot grow their own cannabis. I have friends with cancer that would go to jail with a death sentence if they got caught growing cannabis. I know parents that are growing cannabis for their children. And if they get caught, they're going to lose everything and go to jail. So how do we reconcile this? How do we get you on our side to vote yes in November? And give me a call back if you get a chance. Thanks so much, Bishop James, and we appreciate you. Give us a call this week or next week. It'll be fine. But if you can call back within a half hour, we're on the air for another half hour. I have to do the list now. I'm going to add my sister to this list of people that have died. And it's a long list. And it doesn't get any shorter. It gets longer, and it gets more hurtful. And as we grow this list, it gets very hurtful. Her brother was on this list last year, a year ago, 1 year ago. So thank you so much, Bishop James. And again, give me a call back if you get a chance. We're on the air, like I said, for another half hour. I want to speak to you also about the riots that are going on. How do we reconcile the rioting that's going on? Because let me say one thing. In the Bible, in Ephesians, it says, stop bringing my phone. We have a struggle not against blood and flesh, but against the governments, against the authorities, against the world rulers of this darkness, against the wicked. That's Ephesians 6. And it may be different in your Bible. My Bible is the Jehovah's Witness Bible. I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, but I do read the Jehovah's Witness Bible because I like the newer translation from 2013. It's a translation right from the Greek scriptures from a recent translation. And I like to read all the different sides of the scripture. So in your Bible, it may say a few words differently, but I like that. I like to have more information. The Bible has a lot of keys.
You have reached the maximum time permitted for recording your message. If you are satisfied with your message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To send your message with normal delivery, press 1. Thank you. Your message.
All right. Okay. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Bishop James. How are you, sir?
I'm well, sir.
All right, awesome. Bishop James, thank you so much for that prayer. It was so meaningful. I just left you a long message, and I said the same thing. Thank you. It was just great. It was such a hurtful month of our lives. Basically, our sister was fine a month ago, and she went into the hospital and never came out because of the COVID. We never got a chance to see her and advocate for her and help her make any decisions, and she came home for a couple of days of hospice, and then she passed away on Sunday. And
Wow.
we
Yes.
we laid hands on her. Here's my question. I have a question for you, and it's a Christian question. We all believe in Jesus, and we all of us laid hands on her and prayed. And Jesus gave us this power to heal people.
Yes.
And why wasn't she healed? Was my faith not strong enough? Did I have doubts? Why was she not healed if we have that power?
Well, let me share this with you. The reality is that it tells us that we do have power, but life and death also, he has the power, and he has, when we were born, there was an assignment time for us to die. And so it wasn't a lack of your faith. It's perhaps that this was that her race, her time was up. And that happens to us.
It's in the book. Once it's in the book, that's it, right?
Yeah. There are a few instances where, in the case of Hezekiah, the prophet tells him, set your house in order, for you're going to die. He turns his face to the wall, prays to God himself. When the prophet gets to the outer court, he tells him, turn around, tell Hezekiah, I've heard thy prayer, and I will grant him 15 more years. So it's not that our prayer, it's like Moses, all the great things he did. Moses, get ready, anoint, lay hands on Joshua, because you're getting ready to leave here. And the Bible goes over, and they slept with their fathers. They slept with their fathers. They slept. And so, all the great prophets died. But our death is only, the Bible says this. The Bible says that the last enemy to be taken out of this world is death. And so the Bible also says that I will make your enemies your stepstool. Watch this. Let not your heart be troubled. John 14:1. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, you may be also. And so when you think about where she is, to be absent from this body is to be present with the Lord. The Apostle Paul says that I'm caught between. For me to die is gain. If I die, I'm going to heaven. I'm going to gain eternal life. And so there comes a time when all of us, regardless of who we leave behind, are going to go, unless we're raptured. And so look at so many of the writings. Once again, the Apostle Paul says to Timothy, and the second epistle to Timothy, that the time of my departure is at hand. I've fought a good fight. I've kept the faith. I've finished my course. And so God has a time set for all of us. And some courses are longer than others. And so you wanted her here. But maybe her healing was on the other side. And for selfish reasons, I know my mom, when my mom passed, my dad passed, I'm saying, God, why? And he said to me, in the case of my mom, he said she had seniority in prayer. My mother said, before I suffer, I'd rather God take me. And so the human side of us wants them to remain. My grandmother, and I wasn't a preacher then, as a matter of fact, she blew my high that day. I had to, and this is true. I went to see her. She was in the hospital, and this is 1971, so I wasn't even thinking. And my grandmother and I were tight. And she was 87 years old. And I called her Mama. And I went to see her, and she started telling me what to tell my father and what to tell my mother. And I said, well, they'll be here to see you tomorrow. And she said, no, tomorrow is too late. I went on. I proceeded to go on to talk to her. And first thing she said, what are you crying for? And she said to me, she said, a body gets tired. And she said, if you could see what I see, you wouldn't want to stay here. By the time I got home from the hospital, she was gone. There are folks that are ready, that want to go, and for selfish reasons, we want them to stay. And so sometimes we're out of the will of God because it didn't happen like we wanted it.
Yeah, I get that. I know
Yeah.
she's with.
And we grieve.
Yeah, we're hurting real bad.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
It's just the fact
But in
that
that 14th chapter of John, it talks about leaving, talks about where you're going, it talks about who you're going to be, because Jesus says, I go to prepare the place, and that where I am, you will be also. So does she stay with a brother that loves her, or does she go to Jesus? She got a better deal.
yeah, she's in a better place.
You really think about it. She's in a better place. No sickness. There's no hospitals there. There's no COVID there. She's got a new body. She doesn't pay PSE&G anymore because he's the light. You can't take her to the beach because they said that there is a river that's crystal there. And then there's a tree, and this is in Revelation. It says that one leaf is healing for the good of a nation.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I use that when I talk about cannabis. And I just spoke to Leo Bridgewater 5 minutes ago, and you know Leo very well, I know. And you guys are on the opposite sides of this issue too, and we've talked about this before. My sister could not get medical cannabis; she was not able to. But I have friends that want to grow their own cannabis. They have cancer, and they're not allowed to because of the law. And if they get caught growing cannabis, they're going to go to jail for the rest of their life because they're going to die in jail.
Well, here's the thing with that. If it's going to be, and we're certainly not fighting medical. Unfortunately, so many folks have already abused the medical piece. And if you take California, the regulations for legal cannabis is so cumbersome and burdensome that it's cheaper for illegal. But here's the problem with that. The legal guys now can't make money. So it never was about helping people who had medical problems. I mean, opioids have been given since the first century in the Orient. And now, until there was an opioid abuse problem, nobody gave a damn. Marijuana, what they're trying to pass here, is not about medical. And they're trying to mix the two. And every state, now I'll take South Carolina, for example. You can have something, but if you get caught with it in your car, it's the same thing that happened in an open bottle. And so there's more arrests of African Americans in every state, including Colorado. So nothing's changed. New York City, you can have, and I forget what the quality amount is. The problem is there's smoke-free areas. And so if you get caught smoking on the street corner, you get a ticket. You're already poor, so who can pay the $500 ticket? As a result of not paying the ticket, you now get a warrant. That's where we are, sir. And nobody wants to work out the kinks prior to passing legislation.
I want to be able to grow my own cannabis for my back pain. I have horrible back pain.
Mm-hmm.
I can't afford the dispensary prices. There's rich people just making rich people richer.
That's right.
And I don't trust our government. And I'll read real quick for you one thing. Ephesians 6, we have a struggle not against blood and flesh, but against the governments, against the authorities, against the world rulers of this darkness, against the wicked spirit forces. I think the drug war is evil, and it's meant to keep people down. It was meant for more Jim Crow. This drug war is more Jim Crow, and I think we should end this,
You're 100%
this Jim Crow.
correct.
So how do we end Jim Crow in November? By voting no.
Well, you're not helping it by voting yes.
But people
You're certainly not helping, because there are no African American growers or owners in this business. There are some partners who are NBA players, and they look at it as an investment for their money. But there's no actual all-out owners.
No,
And that's a fact.
You're
so
right.
You're not going to end Jim Crow. This is about the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah, I see that. I just want to grow my own, and I want the license.
And I don't have a problem with that. If they said that you have this medical thing, and because I learned from the medical folks, there are different strands, just as there are different painkillers. And you only can grow 2 or 3 strands because they don't want you to have the one you need. So you now are still stuck with whatever they allow you to have. It's about money. And so nothing is about the people.
One question
But anything
yeah.
I can do to help you, I will.
We need your support for home grow for my friends with cancer, my friends who are dying. We need your help for home grow. I could care less about making these people any more money.
Well, as I said, the commercial piece, and I've got to run. The commercial piece, I can support homegrown, but then there has to be some regulation to that, because everybody who has a planter will be growing it and selling it. That's real. And so unless we can actually work out the details before somebody says wholesaling, we can have it, that what's going to happen in the neighborhoods that I represent is going to be the same. And because the government will never be cheaper than the street dealer.
That's right. Look at Ed Fortune. He's down in Trenton. He says he's selling weed like a white man. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And he's doing well.
Yeah.
There's a line out his door. I mean, he's doing very well because the people can't afford these dispensary prices, so they're going to the black market.
Yep.
So what have they really done? What have they really solved? They have solved no problems. This government is just...
None at all.
None.
As a matter of fact, what the black market has done, and when you look in Colorado, some of it is scary because if I smoke every day at 12 years old, by the time I'm 25, Viagra won't help me, because what it's going to do to my blood flow. Nobody's talking about that. We knew what cigarettes were going to do and tobacco for 50 years. But nobody, because it was too much money. Same thing with marijuana. All the American Medical Association, the New England Journal of Medicine talks about smoking, what it does to your lungs, what it does to your arteries. And if you are a habitual smoker of marijuana at a young age, you're probably going to have cancer before you're 30. It's a fact.
Yeah, nobody wants kids smoking cannabis. I certainly don't.
And nobody, but there's a project right now that I'm part of from Montclair State University, kids in Patterson. We have kids as young as 11 in the program that are addicted to marijuana. 11. What chance do these kids have by the time they're 25?
There's always going to be a segment of the population that's addicted to food, to anything. So there's always going to be that. Yeah.
But there has to be strict regulations dealing with children. You can.
Yeah.
That's Nancy Reagan saying, "Just say no." Right. And so I'm not against medical, but it needs to be regulated. I'm not against homegrown. For people that have a prescription for it. But you pass a blanket law that says you can have 5 plants, guess what? Everybody's going to have 5 plants.
I don't think that's such a bad thing. I don't think it's so bad. As long as kids aren't getting it, I think it's okay. Because I would tithe something to somebody who needs it. I wouldn't sell it. I would tithe it to them. I would just give them some if they needed it. I would.
Again. I know what you're saying, but there's not a lot of people like you when you think about it.
Maybe. We'll find out in November. I think 61% or 62% are going to vote yes for this.
I hope not. Because you're gonna when you and I are gone. And let me give you this about the COVID piece, and it's medical fact. I don't care what strand of marijuana you grow. You got COVID, marijuana does things to your lungs, sir. It's real.
I heard
they're telling you don't smoke.
Well, if you're smoking, but I heard there's strains that actually help COVID. There's antibacterial, antiviral strains that could actually help you with your immune system.
Nobody's growing that. Nobody's growing that.
No, they're not.
There's no money in it.
No, you're right. You're right. The stuff that we need, they don't have. You're right.
No, they don't want it. They don't want it. Can you imagine if you had the cure for a common cold? You'd be rich. Nobody's gonna let you produce them.
I think
understand.
Yeah.
And when you read the scripture about principalities in high places, could you imagine if you could grow something that would put Johnson & Johnson out of business? Hell no, they're not going to let you do it. Too much money.
Yeah, I live up by Novartis, so I get it.
Okay. All right, and let me give you this last thing. Talk to some people here in the state who is regulating CBD oils. You don't know if you're getting cat urine. There is no regulation for it. So you don't know what you're buying. But everybody's selling it.
They got CBD coming from China that is not safe. You're absolutely right. It's got arsenic in it. You have to know where your stuff is coming from.
Right. Most of your meds that are made China, India, wherever, you can't even get them. There's a shortage. You don't know what you're getting. And so when I asked the Attorney General to his face, he said, I'll get back to you. And every time I see him, and we talk on a regular, when I ask him, what, sir, who's regulating? He can't give me an answer. There is one person in the entire state of New Jersey that regulates or works with the government to regulate this. One person couldn't make all the Walmart stores that sell it. There is no testing facility.
Did you say Walmart?
Well, yeah, Walmart sells CBD.
Here's something interesting. Our Father Owen came to talk with us last week, and he told me that the state police went to talk to the bishop in Newark, and they said the church was ready to open up, and the state police said, if you open up, we're going to come and fine every one of your parishioners. So they didn't open up the church. So I said, why don't you have church at Walmart?
We've said that too.
Right? I mean, okay, we can go to Walmart. Let's read the Bible in Walmart and have communion aisle 4. Let's do this. I mean, really? Walmart's okay, but church is not okay? What's the difference?
Money, sir.
Oh, boy. They just
The
donated.
root of all what?
Yeah, they just donated to Trump. I know. So did Wendy's.
Money, sir.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But be blessed. We're praying for that God will give you comfort.
Thank you.
But know that she's doing better than you and I.
Yes, she is. She is. We just have to stop thinking about ourselves and think about how better off she is. And you're absolutely right. I just want to say one more thing. We're doing in Newark. You have this problem with wheelchair access. There's steps all over Newark. I'm sure you've seen it. So we have a solution. We're building wheelchair ramps out of Legos, actual Legos, and I'm making a ramp right now for people in Bayonne. I think we spoke about this. I would love for you to come and bless and pray for one of these ramps that we put in Bayonne. It would be amazing.
Love to do it.
Yeah, it would be
Love
great.
to do it as soon as we get quick. All right?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bishop,
God bless.
you're the best. Thank you. God bless
Bye-bye.
you. All right, so we have the bishop's help with home grow. Listen, that's what I want. I know we're gonna have disagreements. We got the bishop's help for home grow and for patience, and that's a good start because we can go far with that. We have to figure out how the bishop can help us with home grow. That's what we have to do. Let's do this. He's a good man. He may be a little wrong about some things, but we disagree. We definitely disagree on a few things, but it's a good conversation, and I want to keep the conversation going with him. He's great. I'm going to end the show. Oh, hold on. Jim Miller just called me. I'm going to end the show, but I do want to talk to Jim Miller if he called. Okay. Yeah, Jim Miller. Let's give Jim a call. We're going to have a candlelight vigil somewhere on Sunday, I believe, for Cheryl. Do I have... Let's see.
Oh, you're on here.
Hi, you're on air. Hi, Jim Miller. How are you, man?
Does that relate you to stop the door?
Hold on.
Come on, I got this echo again.
Oh, no, I can't really hear you. Can you take your speakerphone off?
I'm not on speakerphone.
Oh, I can't really hear you very well. You're a little...
Hold on. Can you hear me a little bit? I'm sorry, say it again?
That's a little better.
Yeah, okay. I had headphones on, so I can hear you better. But my voice is echoing louder than yours. It's sort of like, I don't know if I could mute while I talk to you. I could do this, but this is disturbing my concentration. And my concentration reservoir is pretty low at the moment as it is.
Well, you have something on Sunday with Cheryl? Go ahead, go. Tell me what you got going on Sunday.
Again?
What do you have going on Sunday for Cheryl? Anything? A candlelight vigil with William?
now William Haney was going to do something about that, except for his Sundays are now spent with what little family he has left every Sunday, so he's not going to be able to participate himself. And he's always been the instigator of anything being done on the anniversary of the day Cheryl died. Isn't that weird? William Haney always took care of that.
He did. He's a very caring person.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I go down to the State House at 6:35 a.m. and have a moment of reflection sitting on the steps. You know. Pretty. Nobody in sight at 6:35 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, I'll say. Boy.
Yeah, you can reflect all you want, you know. But yeah, he said that you might be having a podcast on 11/11 at 11/11. No, 11/11 at 11/11 on whatever on Sunday.
Oh, this Sunday.
He won't even be able. He says, "Oh, I wouldn't even be able to call in or anything because he'll be with his family, but he won't be able to see the podcast or something." I don't know. So no, I had no plans, but I really feel like I should. So.
Well, let's talk about this some more.
Are you gonna?
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you. Not on the air.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk some more later.
Yeah, but he also has another line. A couple of those Cheech and Chong signed Coalition for Medical Marijuana T-shirts, and he's had them 12 years now.
Yes.
And he had a really successful raffle that involved 4 nonprofits, including the Coalition, and he raised some pretty good money. And this was before any Facebook. 2008. It was, I think, Facebook. That's the first year I heard about Facebook even. So we were talking about that, and I mean, he's just got all sorts of cool stuff that go with it, like, you know, ticket stubs to that show, their first show in the United States, and however many years, and picture of him and Cheech and Chong, and it's not impossible that if we were doing something like that, and even going to talk about the potential of those T-shirts finally making it back out in the public, there's no reason Tommy wouldn't call into this show. I can get in touch with him. I mean, through somebody. And, you know, just fun stuff like that.
Right on, man. That sounds great.
I mean, he was really impressed with Cheryl because, you know, Barry McCaffrey called her, accused her on Crossfire on TV of being nothing more than promoting Cheech and Chong medicine.
Oh, wow.
Which was funny because, you know, Tommy said about that was, he looked at me and said, "Hey, man, I resent it. Hey, man, do I resent it? Hey, do I resent that?" You know, and first he went, I resent that. Then he thought and said, "Do I resent that?" And then he went, something else.
No, I don't think I resent that. I like that.
He remembers it. And then he said, "Hey, Cheech, that's the woman I was talking about," because I had handed him a copy of the postcard with Cheryl. And unbeknownst to me, of course, Cheech was like 2 feet on the other side of me by this time. He wasn't when we started talking. And I'll tell you, man, my head almost spun around standing in between the two of them having a conversation.
I bet.
That was fucking weird.
I hope you had a joint lit. You better.
I owe you $1.
I hope you had a joint lit.
Oh, man. No, that would have been nice. But anyway, I don't know, just having some ideas about that and the T-shirts and all. But 17 years ago now, my entire week is like yesterday, 17 years ago from yesterday, I had to tell Cheryl she was going to die, you know, and that was a tough conversation for anybody. And then comes everything else, you know, and then, you know, when the process started at 3 a.m. and by 6:30 a.m., you know, I'm freaking worn out from remembering 17 years ago. There's no escape, though. You know. So anyway, it all goes to a greater purpose of that Cheryl was supposed to be inspirational and a teacher as far as other patients and advocates would go, mostly patients though. And I could spend some time encapsulating that. Would work best on that day. So.
Let's talk more, and thank you for everything you've done, Jim.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, but I'd appreciate a lot more if we were both looking at some plants growing in our own houses. You know?
Well,
that's the that's my bucket list right there. I can't die till that gets done. I made a deathbed promise to Cheryl 17 years ago yesterday at 2 in the afternoon that I would keep doing this because I told her I was too tired. I told her I was not tireless. I told her she was going to die. I told her I couldn't keep doing it. And she surprised me so much when she said, "You have to." And then she explained why. Because there are still people that need to hear that. And don't we wish that we'd heard it sooner? You can't be more right than that, you know. Yeah. So, I'm stuck. And the irony is, if Cheryl was here now, she'd probably tell me, "Walk away, Jim," because it didn't work out the way either of us envisioned.
Would she vote yes in November?
Say again?
Would Cheryl be voting yes?
As far as about November and voting.
Would Cheryl be voting yes in November for cannabis?
Yeah. For a simple reason. There's a lot of patients who are in the program, and whether or not they got to go buy from somebody they'd rather not, what they really don't want to do is get caught, spend money staying, I don't mean out of jail, I'm just saying being in the system. Patients don't deserve that. They deserve to be saying, "I'm a grown-ass adult and I'm not breaking the law, eat shit and die out of my view." You know? That was a little harsh. She'd have never said that.
No, you would have said that.
No, that was more me. Yeah. Yeah.
She was a lot nicer than you.
And then, yeah. She was the one that when I would use certain words as an adjective, you know, I'd F-bomb something and she'd look me right in the face and go, "Is that the same as being really tired?" Because I'm really effing tired. And she goes, "Is that the same as being really tired?" Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know, apparently if you swear too much, it dilutes the intensity of the word. So she was actually protecting me from when I wanted to really let it rip. You know. Yeah. So anyway, this echo is like really annoying.
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
I'm doing better than last time. Last time I couldn't concentrate at all, of course.
Good. What is your?
I just got to take it off my ear.
What is
I'm talking.
What does the echo sound like?
Say again.
Oh, I gotcha. I got you, Jim Miller. Poor Jimmy couldn't hear me anyway. All right, let's call Weedville. We're going to call Weedville, Pennsylvania. Or where are we calling? Weedville? Weedstock? Where the heck are we calling? Weedville. Weedville, PA. I'm going to have Dimitri. Dimitri? Can you hear me now? I can't hear you. I don't think he's on. Dimitri? All right, call back, Dimitri. Please, call back. our list. Well, let me thank cmmnj.org. There he is. Dimitri, can you hear me?
What's up, buddy?
How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I got that tool bag echo going back in my ear.
Hold on, I'll fix it. Okay, how's that? Is that better?
I think so.
There we go. Okay, that should be better.
Now we're having a conversation. What's up, bro?
There we go, man. It's good to hear from you. How you been?
Oh, I'm embarrassingly going to tell you that I've been awesome. I don't know. I'm catching up on things. COVID, what's that? People rioting, why? And what's the Game of Thrones thing all about?
No, stay in your pot field. Don't come out of your pot field. Stay in your pot field. You're safe. No COVID. You're good. Stay there. Keep growing that weed.
Yeah, no, listen. I hear people, I see Facebook posts, and I'm crying on the inside, brother. It's a rough time for everybody.
Yes.
And I came up with something. I'm a little gimmicky. You know me from us running around, and
a little.
I helped you with your. Yeah, well, you're my handicap hero, and I've watched you work. So personally, so it's you know what we do.
Yes.
And sometimes it's a little fantastical, sometimes it's a little soapboxy, but it gets the job done, right?
Yes,
So Church of Cannabis Sativa, blah blah blah, came out here to grow weed after going to jail for growing, just to get people caught up. I've been out here ever since. We've now got a little shop where we sell, CBD products, or just, cannabis products in general. I don't want to generalize it as just CBD. As a matter of fact, our fields now are mostly CBG. So I'm looking forward to biosynthesizing or using the Swiss Army knife of compounds to make it more universal. So you guys can research all that on your own. But purpose for my call today is to tell you I love you, and I appreciate the Lego ramps. I applaud you from 6 hours away every time I see you go and do one of these things, man. It's awesome. And I wanted to give everybody a party at the end of the year. Now, of course, it's not free. There's going to be some kind of festival fee attached to it of some sort. But we do have a weed stock here every year. It's a small party, but this year I'm trying to blow it up. So this is going to be Weed Stock 5. And I've reached out to a couple of larger promoters, Canifest people, Austin Dam Show, some of those, and anybody else is welcome to help us out with this one. Food trucks, rides, Halloween weekend, camping, shuttles, music, fire dancers.
You had me at food.
You name it.
You had me at food.
What's that?
You had me at food.
Well, it's everything that everybody wants in a festival, and I'm going to try and amass all the people that are dying to break out. So, Ken with One Love Tribe, brother Ken,
yes.
He's going to come out here for the pilgrimage. I'm hoping more people that are in his circle and outside of his circle and network are going to want to come out here and entertain all the people that need the entertainment. So Halloween, wear a mask or not, part of your costume, whatever, wear nothing. I don't care. It's a matter of loosening up and getting together for the right reasons. I'm hoping by October 31st, everything would loosen up to the point where this would be something that's welcoming into our souls. But that's basic message for today. I know you're looking to wrap it up. If anybody wants to contact me, it's Dmitry Fyodorov on Facebook. Yada yada yada. So how are you?
You know what? I feel better after talking to Leo and the Bishop and you and Jim. I just feel better. It was a nightmare month for our family, and we're finally coming out of this, and we can start to celebrate the life of my sister now, and that she's with God and Jesus, and they're holding her, and she's in a better place. And I'm just being selfish by wanting her here with us, but yeah, I'm selfish. I'm a selfish person. I do. I want all my loved ones with me. But you know what? Maybe to have her with God is being unselfish, and I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
This isn't the last time we see people on this earth. I think it's just one of the times we recognize or fail to recognize those energies. So I'm sure you'll be with her again somewhere.
Yeah, we loved her, man. She's awesome person, and it's just a shame what happened to her in 1 month. Just 1 month. It was just from 100 to 0 in 1 month. Like, what happened? Oh, brutal, man. Cancer. Cancer is just a horrible thing, and we need home grow so that my friends with cancer can help fight this disease without spending their whole life savings to fight this disease. They want to just grow a couple plants in their backyard. Let them do it. Don't put them in jail for that. That's all we want.
You know, I really believe until we start having home grow in every garden, front lawn, to where people can actually maintain and keep up a cannabis regimen for, immunity and general wellness and health. Until we get to that point, it's really just going to be a power struggle and, the mighty dollars involved. So maybe the CBG, synthesize it for yourself route may be the way that you go. Get a hemp permit and work your way that way, slow but sure. But we're opening up, and that's a good thing. And you guys are the freedom fighters, and we're on the ground fighting, and we're not going to let go. This is something we're all very passionate about. I'm very proud to be part of this circle and to get your attention, honestly.
And thank you for taking part, Dimitri. Thank you. You there?
Hey,
oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Feel free to hang up on me in the middle of the sentence because I enjoy it.
No, I usually ask a question before I do that. I'm not going to do that because you're having a party and
right.
No, your party's no. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. It's not the day for that. But we do want to come out to your party. I'm afraid to drive out there because I'm a medical cannabis patient in New Jersey. The state police in Pennsylvania will pull me over and arrest me for having a green tongue and being a patient. So I'm nervous driving to Pennsylvania. I really am.
Don't be. We're actually very welcoming. Our laws are very accommodating to patients. If you have any questions, you can contact a PA, a card counseling team. Like I use Greenbridge Society. Ron Boyle's open book. That guy will answer any questions for you as far as carrying a piece with a card or, can I get one that goes across state lines? There's a lot of information that's kind of cloudy out there when it comes to patient rights.
Yes.
And when it comes to interstate rights, that's even cloudier.
Yes.
So, be smart when you drive. Driving intoxicated under any compound or any chemical is frowned upon. So whether you're over-caffeinated as a police officer or you're high on heroin as a citizen, you're going to drive not natural. So let's be clean when we drive and be respectful to each other because that's a, 5,000-pound heat-seeking missile that needs to be steered responsibly. We could agree on that and then party in the field or in our houses or privately, personally, if that's what you're into. Responsible use overall.
I hear they're changing that. They're going to change that law so that you can be a cannabis patient and have cannabis in your system, correct?
I lost the first
I believe
part of
that they're changing the law. Somebody is passing a bill that's going to make it okay for medical cannabis patients to have a certain amount of cannabis in their system when they drive. Is that true?
I don't know enough about that, honestly. I do know that there's a SB 350, State Bill 350 legislation coming through that's going to allow for home grow. And it looks like it's gaining a little bit of traction. I don't know the exact details up until now, but I'm crossing my fingers for that one. I think it's going to allow for 6 plants here in Pennsylvania. So
beautiful. That's what we need.
But I mean, we have a lot of concentrates here, and we're vape heavy. Most of our dispensaries are well stocked. I mean, you guys are welcome to look at any of the menus in Pennsylvania and see what's available. It's a little strange because we can't burn flower, but we can vape anything we want. So it's fun and it's weird, but it's a stepping stone. So
fun and weird.
I'm happy for it.
Fun and weird. Let's take our podcast. Fun and weird.
It's we're birds of a feather. So.
Oh man, so awesome!
I'm glad to see everybody's still smiling these days, and that I want to see everybody's faces again in an environment that kept me well and healthy while I was going through my shit.
Yes.
The mountains heal, and Weedville is marketing gold. So I'm trying to develop the area, and until you guys see what I see, you may not feel the magic that I felt, but. Coupled with cannabis and strong coffee, Man, you guys are gonna love Halloween.
I live on that.
Like,
I live on cannabis and coffee. What strain?
everybody does, man.
Right. What strain are you growing out there?
Okay, so I'm working with a genetic called the White genetic. It's a 2019 Cup winner. So I had to, that's my CBG strain, and then I have two CBD lines I'm working with now. One is Prairie Wine, and another one is Silver Lining.
Okay.
So I got a green flower, a purple flower, and then CBG, which is, I don't know, about 4,200 plants in the ground now of the CBG.
Wow.
A couple hundred of the others.
Amazing.
All hand planted by the Reverend.
Nice.
So they've been hand planted by, I guess, holy hands, if we want to go that way.
Yes. Yes, you're a Christian man. Good for you.
I try to be. Gosh, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I know.
I'm a sinner, man.
It's a process. It's a process. I get it.
I'm the reason they made the rule book, I guess.
Yeah, it's your fault. You broke the mold.
Yeah. We have a very unique relationship, your God and me. It's I don't know. It's like an answer machine thing, and sometimes he gets back to me. Sometimes I kind of ad lib. It's weird, but I try not to cross the line. There's a lot more spiritual people that can convey the message of God as a conduit far better than I can. So
yeah, I feel the same.
I'm the marketing guy. I grow weed. That's what I do.
Well, you grow good weed, I'm sure. I can't wait to taste it and smell it and hang out with you again, bro. It's been fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah, man.
We've got all kinds of carte blanche when you come up, your family, and we've got a campground on hold just so people get some of the details. There's rafting here and tubing and horseback riding and ATV courses. There's all kinds. Like, you can go on the road with ATVs. So you guys want to come up for an experience, take more than the 2 days. I'm inviting you guys up just to hang out and party in an open air festival. But, this place, has everything to offer. So you and your family, obviously, anybody in the circle, come on up. You guys can come up and check things out and see for yourself. But we'll do waterfall tour. I'm sure we're going to have horses and stuff, hatchet throwing, all the crazy stuff that goes with festival. So
Nice.
if you guys have any ideas and you want to see something, let me know, because I'm sure the vendors are itching to go somewhere, being that the summer was pretty much shut down. Yeah,
absolutely. What kind of hatchets you have? Gotcha. It wasn't fun, though. You were laughing. I want to catch you in a word. You were supposed to say, word. I missed it. Ah, well. I lied. I said I wasn't going to hang up on you, but I hung up on you. Sorry, Dimitri. Love you. CMMNJ.org, SativaCross.com, MagicalButter.com, UFCW, Local 152, DavidVersusAutism.org, Medical-Freedom.com, TheFallingSickness.com, NewJerseyWeedman.com, LetPatienceGrow, NewJersey.com, New Jersey Grannies for Grass, JacksonStorms.com, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, Pure Puff Vapor Supply, DragonFlyHealthCenter.com, and Sativa Cross West. I don't even have time to make any more calls. I'm sorry. I'm getting right to the list here. Cheryl Miller, Sabina Rose, Diane, Gracie, Cindy May, Marie, Jack, Joan Ford, Randy Robertson, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Marie, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, and Frank is the brother of Lorraine, who I'm adding Lorraine to this list right now. I was a lot sadder when I started this show. I feel better talking to everybody about this, and I thought I was going to lose it today, but no, I'm not going to lose it. I'm happy that Lorraine is in a better place now. She's with her brother in heaven, and I'm sorry that we have to add you to this list. I can't. It's a very hurtful list, and I hope this list will bring somebody some hope, some help, something, because it's very hurtful. Let's hope for better days for all of us. So, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, and Michael. They went with songs to the battle. They were young. Straight of limb, true of eye, steady hand aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old. As we that are left grow old, age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.